Viewers, my lovely viewers, welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Yeah, guys, yeah. Um, Today, apologies, guys. Before I go ahead, I have to wish my Muslim brothers and sisters happy Eid. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Malaikum salam. All right, my lovely Muslim fans, I wish you well. I wish you peace. It's all about peace and love. All right, guys, back to the matter. AWS SageMaker Data Wrangler. Now, this is our topic. All right, so I'm going to break it down bit by bit because, um, like as earlier said in my earlier video, I'm on a mission. All right, I'm on a mission of what? Machine learning. I am on a mission of what? Machine. Machine learning. Alright? Yeah. So, all I'm going to be talking on this video is related to what? Is machine learning. Not that it's related, it's machine learning. Right? So, now we have AWS SageMaker Data Wrangler. But before I go ahead to talk about the subject matter, right? Why don't we just talk about what is SageMaker so that our viewers will understand what exactly is what SageMaker. All right, great guys. So SageMaker, and put it down in center. Great. Text. SageMaker is AWS service for implementing machine learning workloads in the cloud. It is AWS service for machine learning. Let me keep it somewhere here. Okay. All right. Great. So, like I earlier said, I will be rolling out bit by bit different aspects of machine learning operations, all right, on Frank Teaches DevOps, right? Because we are transitioning, we are moving from um, DevOps into machine learning and AI. All right, great. We will still do DevOps, but more of our interest will now be focused on machine learning. All right, so this is what SageMaker is, and this now gives birth to what we will be talking today, called what? SageMaker Data Wrangler. Right? SageMaker Data Wrangler. Great. All right, cool. Now, what is a SageMaker Data Wrangler and what does it do? All right, great. So SageMaker Data Wrangler, this feature of SageMaker is used to convert raw data to convert data from its raw form into a usable form. Chicken now. And that's what a wrangler does. A wrangler, right, is used to convert data from its raw form into a usable form. Right? So now the beauty of AWS SageMaker is it has a feature that performs data transformation. Now, before assuming you have a data set, now that data set is a raw data, and data sets cannot be fed into a machine learning, cannot be trained. A raw data cannot be trained, right? Now, there's a life cycle. There's a life cycle which you must follow for deploying a machine learning model in production. Let me just quickly talk about the life cycle, right? The first phase is data acquisition. After your data has been collated or aggregated, the next phase is data pre-processing and visualization. After you have pre-processed your data, so at this stage, what happens at this stage is data cleansing, data cleansing, data preparation, and obviously visualization. Now, after this stage is the actual stage of what? Modeling. Model training. The moment your data has been cleansed, prepared, is now ready to be trained. That is what SageMaker does. SageMaker Data Wrangler, sorry. That is the functionality of what? SageMaker Data Wrangler. Why are we using Sage? We're using SageMaker because everything that you need in deploying a model, a machine learning model into production is within SageMaker. Guys, this tool is the alpha and omega in machine learning, man. SageMaker is the alpha and omega of machine learning. So it has all of the tool sets that you need to implement the machine learning lifecycle. Now, after the model training, the next phase is model evaluation. After the model has been evaluated, finally, your model has to be what? Deployed. Model deployment. So these are the major 5 stages, all right, that your model, that your data set goes through from right at the point when the data is being collated and aggregated to when the data is being cleansed, right, and pre-processed, to when the data gets into the machine learning environment, right, by teaching the data. At this stage now, the data now becomes a model by training the model. So in here, there are different machine learning machine learning types. All right, machine learning types you could use to train the model. It could be either a supervised learning, or an unsupervised learning, or a reinforcement learning. All right. So after this stage, you now have what? The actual deployment, sorry, the model evaluation. At this stage now, you've gotten your results. Now you are now comparing your results to the original data that were collated. That's the evaluation phase. After evaluation, if you feel everything is fine, you can now what? Finally deploy the model into what? Production. So I just digress in talking about what? The machine learning life cycle. Let me just put this somewhere. Machine learning life cycle. All right. So here is the machine learning life cycle. This machine learning life cycle, it follows a crisp DM methodology. Now this crisp DM methodology means cross industry standard process for data mining. That's what that crisp means. Let's put it somewhere here. Cross, capital R, cross industry standard process for data mining methodology. All right. However, in this methodology, there are some parts that we actually chunk out. All right. Great, guys. Great. So coming back to SageMaker. So SageMaker Data Wrangler is used to convert data from its raw form into what? A usable form. Now, converting the data, you're doing things like data pre-processing, things like data cleansing, etc. Anything that could make you to get a clean data, that's what Data Wrangler does. Then after the data has been cleansed, you have a clean data set to work with. You can now start applying transformation jobs. You can now start applying transformation on what? On the data. That's the functionality of what? A data wrangler. So within Data Wrangler, or within AWS SageMaker, all right, you can create data flows. A data flow is a visual representation of what's happening within your data. All right. Let's put this under features. All right. So features. Okay. So without further ado, we don't have much to talk about. Much theory. There is much theory though, but talking much about theory, you'll get bored and you won't feel it. So we want to hop onto our AWS account and see how we can implement data cleansing, data visualization, data wrangling with what? AWS SageMaker Data Wrangler. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just put up the architecture. Let's put up the architecture so that you have an idea of what you are trying to achieve. Now, here's my S3 bucket. Now, I'm going to be downloading my data set I'll be using a data set from kaggle.com. So there's a huge website in data engineering, data analysis, that has different data sets. It's a repository of data sets. That website is called um, gaggle.com. Gaggle.com. And when you go to gaggle.com, you can come to this box. All right, let me do it afresh. Gaggle.com. Gaggle.com. So the data set I want to use is a hotel. What's that thing's name again? Hotel booking demand. So I'll come here and search for what? Hotel booking demand. This is the data set. It has a lot of information on what we want to implement. Right? So let me look for the particular one, which is this hotel booking demand from the paper hotel booking demand data set. You can see it has the highest number of downloads, are around 141,000 downloads. So click this guy and click on what? Download. I've already downloaded this data set, right? So it's on my base machine. Let's continue with our notes and I will show us how to bring it in. So now, assuming you have downloaded your data set from gaggle.com, your dataset has been downloaded. So the next thing I need to do now is I'll go to AWS S3. I'll create a bucket. In that bucket, I'm going to upload my dataset. Let's say this is my dataset. This is my booking. Let me call it dataset, just DS, right? So here's my booking dataset. I will upload this data. Let me change the color, guys. I love seeing colors. I will upload this data. It's a CSV file into my what? Into my S3, right? Now, once this data has been uploaded into S3, the next phase will be I will now go to what? AWS SageMaker. From AWS SageMaker, I'm going to create a domain, right? So on AWS SageMaker, this is SageMaker. So on SageMaker, I'll create a domain. After I have created a domain, I'll need to launch the domain. The moment I launch the domain will open for me in SageMaker Studio. SageMaker Studio. And by definition, right? Now, after creating a domain here, come here, I'll create a domain, SageMaker domain. So after this guy has been created, right? The next phase will be SageMaker Studio, right? All right. So let me pause and go to AWS, and while I am going through the steps, I'll be updating our architecture, right? I will be updating our architecture, right? So now let's start from here because I have the file already, which is downloaded to my downloads. Okay, here's my download. On my download, I have the hotel booking.csv, right? So let me open this file in Excel. Let's open the file in Excel. Let's see the data set, the kind of data set. So here's the data set, guys. It's about where is that? 119,000 rows. 119,000 rows. So let's quickly go to the column. Sorry, let's quickly go to the beginning. That's the beginning, all right? So the beginning, we have different columns. We have the hotel column, is cancelled. This is cancelled is either a reservation was cancelled or it wasn't cancelled. If it is 0, it means that a reservation was not cancelled. If it is 1, a reservation was cancelled. The lead time, the arrival date year, arrival date month, the arrival date week number, arrival date day of month, and so on and so forth. All right, and so on and so forth, guys. So this is our data set. All right, so this data, we will be uploading this data towards AWS S3. Right, so I'll close this guy, then I will go to what's it called, my AWS account. Where is that account? Great. So I'll come to S3. I'll come to S3. Let's create a new bucket. Let me call this bucket demo wrangler. Demo sage wrangler. Alright? Keep it open. Acknowledge. Then create. Alright, so this bucket has been created. Now let's go to that bucket, Sage Wrangler. Now let's upload the file. Add the file. Come to my downloads. Here's the file. Hotel booking. Click on open. Then scroll to the bottom. Click on what? Upload. So this file is getting uploaded. Right? It's getting, which is our data set. It's getting uploaded. Let's wait. Yeah, the upload was successful. All right, so we can close the page. Yeah, we are good, guys. Now let's go back to our diagram. So now we've uploaded our data sets from our base machine into what? S3. So we now have this guy on S3. All right, great. Now we are now going to go to AWS and search for the SageMaker service. All right, so let's go back there. Let's come back. So I'll come to okay, I'll come to here or wherever. All right, I'll search for what? SageMaker. Okay, so in SageMaker, why is it taking some time? All right, it's up now. It's up. So on my left hand side, there are different sections. All right, we have getting started, SageMaker Studio, SageMaker Studio Lab, Canvas, Arrow Studio, TensorBoard, admin configuration, SageMaker dashboard, search, jumpstart, governance, hyperpod cluster, ground truth, notebook. A lot, guys, a lot. SageMaker is loaded. All right, so now let's start with what? Admin configurations. Now I need to create a domain. Before I can use a SageMaker Studio. Right, a SageMaker Studio is a web IDE. All right, it's a web IDE that allows you to perform all of your data services, machine learning data services. All right, so great. But before you can access the studio, you must create a domain. All right, so I'll come to domain and click on what? Create a domain. Just click on setup, and we should have a quick setup. A domain is getting created. It doesn't take much time. All right, so we are configuring resources in there by the domain. This is a one-time configuration and may take a few minutes. All right, so let me pause the video. It took some time last time. Let me pause the video, and once it's done, I'll be right back. All right, so as you can see, the domain, kind of a quick setup, has been created. All right, so this is the user the user's profile. Okay, great. So let's just wait for everything to sync. Is now active. Right, so once this has been created, the next thing you go come to what? Studio, SageMaker Studio. So click on Studio. So the moment you click on Studio, you will see the profile that you created here, and you say what? Open Studio. Click on Open Studio. So Open Studio takes you to a new page. It takes you to a new page. All right, so it's directing you to a web UI. a web interface. Right now, welcome to the new SageMaker Studio. We've built a new experience to empower you and your work. That's fine. Take a quick tour. No, skip tour for now. Perfect, guys. All right. So now this is accept all cookies. So guys, this is SageMaker Studio. Right. You have the Jupyter Lab. You have the Arrow Studio. You have the Canvas, Code Editor, Studio Classic. All right. And yeah, all right, migrate data and notebooks to learn more. These are documents, right? Then on my left hand side we have the home, running instances, data, auto ML, right, to automatically build, train and tune your machine learning models, to manage and analyze your machine learning experiments, jobs, train jobs, pipeline. So this is where you run your pipeline, all right, your machine learning pipeline, and model, jumpstart, deployment, etc, etc. For today's video, we are concerned about cleaning our data, and for that we'll go to the data section. We want to prepare our data, transform and store the data. So these are the three things we need to do. Right now, data wrangling, right, we'll use this feature of SageMaker Studio, which is Data Wrangler. So click on it. So the moment you click on Data Wrangler, right, so it's going to ask us to run it in Canvas. Run your Wrangler, your data flow jobs in what? In Canvas. You can see it aggregates, explore and prepare data to build generative AI or machine learning solutions in SageMaker Canvas. No code is needed. You don't need any code. All right. All you need to do is know how to manipulate these tools to get an expected result, right? So now just click on run in Canvas. Click on run in Canvas. So the moment I click on run in Canvas, it's going to take us to the Data Wrangler web UI. Data Wrangler has its own web UI, right? So we are going there briefly. So it takes about 8 minutes, all right? So I'll be pausing this video, and once it's close to 8 minutes, I'll be right back. All right, so our canvas has been created. So you can click on what? Open in Canvas. Just click on open on Canvas and it will open your Data Wrangler in a canvas, right? In a canvas. All right. So now, the first thing we need to do, because we already have the data, right? We don't have the data yet, guys. All right. So we are going to be creating what? A data flow. Look at, we have Wrangler, we have data sets that already comes inbuilt data sets that comes with Wrangler. We have models, we have machine learning operations, which is nothing is there. We have ready to use data sets for different analysis. You have sentiment analysis. I have a video I did on sentiment analysis, customer sentiment analysis. All right, so if you've not watched that video, I used AWS Comprehend, all right, to implement sentiment analysis. You also have language detection, all right. You have entities extraction, personal information detection, object detection in images, and a whole lot, guys, a whole lot. You also have generative AI, all right, things like ChatGPT and the likes, bots, etc. All right, so let's go to what? Our Wrangler. So on this Wrangler, we will be creating what? A data flow, job. So just click on create data flow. Now let's give it a name. Let's call it a demo df. All right, demo df, create. Demo df. So you will see that everything is still empty. All right, let's go back to our notes. Now look at this now. All right, I think this flow should be um, this flow should come like this on top of SageMaker. Okay, you should go like this guy should come here. Yeah, then we should have um okay, okay, let me have it like this, and this guy is like this, right? Because from SageMaker we get to what? We get to Studio. Okay, then from Studio we are going to Wrangler. Great. So below here we now have Data Wrangler. Let me change the icon. SageMaker Data Wrangler. I think this is a flow now. This is a flow. So this guy comes this way, all right? Then from here we got this. Perfect. All right? So we will be importing our data from what? AWS S3. Makes sense now. This is the proper architecture. All right? Here is the proper architecture. So let's import our data. We've created our data flow. Now we need to import the data. Where are you importing the data set type? The data set type is a tabular data. All right? So tabular data, it supports either CSV or Parquet files. All right? Now the data source is not on my local machine. Rather, this data is on AWS S3. You can see there are different data sources. It supports Snowflake, which is from Amazon. It supports Redshift, MySQL, Salesforce, Athena, SQL Server, etc., etc. All right? Great guys. So you can say third parties too. So these are third party tools. So AWS S3. So let's click on that. Then I'll come and select the bucket. So there's the bucket, the demo Sage Wrangler. Yeah, demo Sage Wrangler. That's the bucket, and that is a file. Right? Click on preview data. Preview data. So this is data, right? Great. So now this is import settings. So under import settings, we have different sampling method, right? So if I come here, there are three major sampling methods. The first is called the first K. The first K sampling method selects the top number of rows, right? It gives you a maximum sample of 50,000 rows, right? Which is okay to work with, all right? A sample data set, right? Now we have the random sampling. So this random sampling, it selects randomly from different rows, right? It has to be also what? 50,000. Then finally we have the stratified, right? Stratified has its own method as well, right? But for the sake of this video, we would be using what? The first K sampling method, right? So once you select that, click on what? Import data. Now the moment your data has been imported, so this is what you get. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, sorry. Here is your data flow. So you have your source data. You have your source data coming from what? AWS S3, and you now have the data types. The data types coming from the file, right? So now let's click. Let's do something. Now I can add transformation, right? So I can add transformation. I can click here, right? Now you can see here I have two columns. I have the data for the data types and analysis, which we shall get into anytime from now. So under data, I have the two transformation. I have my data source, which is AWS S3, which is here, all right? Then I now have the data type. If I go back to the data flow, yeah, let me show you now. I have the data source S3 and what? The data types. All right, great. So click here, click on what? Add transform. And I can see now. All right, so the first thing I need to do now is I need to update this column. You can see now these are different columns, and these columns, they have their corresponding histograms. All right, like the hotel has its histogram, the is cancelled column has its own histogram for both cancelled reservation as well as non-cancelled reservations. All right. Then you have the lead time, you have the arrival time, you have the arrival date month. They have their various respective histogram. All right, great guys. So I'm concerned about this column, which is cancelled. I want to change this value from long int towards to boolean. Right. So this is what I will do. I'll come here, I'll select the data types. Right, they can see the data, the column, and their data type is modifiable. So I'll click this guy, I'll change the value towards boolean. So the moment I do that, I should see false and true on this column. So let's scroll. We are done. Should give us option to update. Is cancelled, is boolean. So let's scroll. So I'll preview it. All right, at the bottom I'll preview it. Click on preview. So the moment you click on preview, it should update. You can see now it has updated. Then I'll click on what? Update, so that it will be permanent. So that the changes will be permanent. So click on update. Great. So after this stage now, the first analysis I'll be running on is called data quality analysis report. Data quality analysis report. I want to check how quality the data I've collected, I've imported into my environment, the customer data. All right, how quality is that data? All right, so we'll be looking at things like, okay, we're going to see everything. All right, we're going to run analysis on the data such that it will report if there are some there are duplicates in the data, there are duplicate fields, or sorry, there are duplicate rows, or there are anomalies. Right, so we're going to see all of that when we run the analysis. So let's come to analysis session. On the analysis, you can come to analysis type. So under analysis type, I'll click this drop down. I'll go for data quality and insight report. Data quality and insight report. So I want to run a data quality and an insight report. So let's give it a name. Let me call it data quality insight, DQI. All right, now the problem type majorly in machine learning, there are two major um, um, problem types. All right, now we have regression and classification. Regression most of the time is tilted towards numerical. All right, things like you could say things like find the time, things in timing, things in calculations. All right, these are problems for regression. Now classification are things like when you're classifying if a human being is a male or a female. All right, an animal is a carnivorous or herbivorous. All right, or a mammal. All right, so these are classifications. And now in this context now we have this column, which is cancelled. Is cancelled is either true or false. So true or false is a classification problem. All right, so we want to solve a classification problem, so we will be going towards classification. Now in that, we're going to specify the target column. The target column is what? Is cancelled. Right, now the data sample size is 20k. That's okay. We just need a smaller sample of the data set. Click on what? Create. So the moment you click on create, everything will be done automatically on your behalf. You don't need any code. You do not need any code, guys. Low code. So you can see analysis, data quality analysis, data quality and insights report is up and running. All right, so let's check. Here's a summary: data set statistics, number of features, number of rows, 20,000, missing, valid, duplicates. So you can see we have about close to 30,000, 30% of duplicate rows. 30% of duplicate rows. Let's scroll. You can see Canvas detected that 28.1% of the data are duplicates. It's a bad data. It doesn't make sense. Alright? It's not nice. So we have a duplicate row which is on the high side. Alright? So out of this number of data, out of 20k, right, 20k, 20,000 rows, you are having 21%, sorry, 28% of duplicated rows, which doesn't make sense. All right, so we're going to see how we can drop those duplicate rows entirely. Now there's what we call a target leakage. All right, now a target leakage happens when a specific column, all right, a specific column, it could be any column, almost accurately predict the target column. So the target column here is this guy is cancelled. Here's the target column. You can see it now. Here's the target column. And the problem you are solving what? A classification problem. Okay, great. So these are the number of target rows. Now let's come down now. Number of duplicate rows. Duplicate count. We have for this lead time and during this year 2016, at this month, then at this date, these were the number of duplicate rows that were recorded. Similarly, you have other 2016 year, 29, 2016 in February, and on a different dates, February 7th. This happened February 7th. This happened February 9th. All right. Okay. So different duplicates. So a whole lot, guys. All right. Anomalies. All right. The Canvas detects anomalous samples using the isolation forest algorithm after basic pre-processing. Right. There were some anomalies here and there. Okay. Great. So this is a histogram for target volume. The target column. Right. Quick model, and here is what we call a confusion matrix. Right, a confusion matrix. Right, yeah. So okay, great. All right, so feature summary. All right, you can see everything here, and a histogram as well. Prediction power as against features. All right, prediction power as against features, and a whole lot, guys. The list is endless. Right, the analysis is endless. Right, but our major concern was at this level, which we have duplicate rows. Right, so this was our first analysis. Right, our first analysis. So we can also, let's go back to our data flow. Come to your data flow. You can see that's created a new sampling. All right, a new sampling in our data flow. All right, great. So I can come to my data type. All right, click here and go towards add transformation. So my transformation, I'll come towards the analysis menu. All right, you create analysis. Click on create analysis. So we want to run analysis against this data. So you can run an analysis type of what? Histogram. Right, the analysis name, can call it histogram analysis, HA, and the x-axis you will want to see maintain let's say the is cancelled. Then that's all. Click on preview. All right, so once you click on preview, you see analysis of just that column. Right, you can see, yeah, we have this total number of valid reservation and this total number of cancelled reservations. All right, now, so that's it, guys. Count of records, then is cancelled bin. Right, so you can run different types of analysis. Right, great. So you can also run scattered plot analysis, and you can give it scatter plot analysis, SPA. And then the x-axis scatter plot analysis is a number, so we're going to look for a numeric column. So So lead time is a numeric column as against ADR. There's one other numeric column called ADR. Yes, ADR. Great. Then click on what? You can add it. You can add it. Let's add it. Take some time. Right, you can see this is what scattered plot. Right, so if you like it, you can always update. Once you update it, it will get added. Let's update it. So if you update it, update, right, so this is scatter, it's getting updated. Just wait. So the scatter plot analysis is getting updated. Right, that's been updated. So let's go to our data flow. So you can now see we have a what? A scattered plot analysis. If you don't want it, you can always come here and delete it. Right? You can always come here to delete such an analysis. Right, so let's now do something that makes sense. Makes sense. Why? Because we have duplicate rows. So let's see how we can reduce those number of duplicate rows. Alright, so I'll still come back to this three dotted, click on what? Add transform. I'll go to what? Analysis. Or I could add another transform stage. Right, I could add another transform stage. I can come here, click on add transform. Now what kind of transformation do you want to apply? I want to apply I want to drop most of the duplicates. Right, I want to drop all of the duplicate rows. We have about 28%, right? Great. So let's drop those duplicate rows and run our analysis against what we've gotten and see if there are still what? Duplicates. Let's try it and see. So I'll type duplicates. So I'll look at what? Manage rows. Manage rows, right? So manage rows randomly shuffle their order, remove duplicates, remove any empty rows, or filter out or drop any rows that do not match a specified pattern. Right, so click on manage rows. So under manage rows, come here, remove this sorting, click this drop down. You see what? Drop duplicates. Drop duplicates. Right, so you can click on preview. Is there, right? Click on add. So it has dropped the duplicates. Now let's go to our data flow to confirm our data flow. Click on data flow. You see that we now have a new entry, which is what? Drop duplicates. So now let's now run analysis against the duplicate analysis against this what? This new data that we've gotten, this new data set that has removed the number of what? Duplicate rows, because at this stage now we have transformed our data, our original data, by removing what? By removing what? The duplicate rows. So can come here, click here and click on what? Add transformation. So we go to add transformation, we'll come to analysis, then we need to analyze the data, this new data set. Now we'll come here and say what? Analyze for what? Duplicate rows. Let's see if there are duplicate rows. Let me give you a name. Let's call this new duplicate row. New duplicate row. New. All right, now let's preview. Let's look at the output. What's the output say? The output says that no duplicate rows were found in 39,598 rows tested. You can see we have been able to what? To further pre-process the data, right? By what? By filtering out what? The entire 28% of duplicate rows that we had in the earlier data. Right, so if this is fine by you, click on what? Add this analysis. This analysis has been added to your data flow. Let's go to the analysis. Come here now. You can see now we now have we now have a new data set. So from here now we can, this is just to confirm, this analysis is just to confirm that yeah, there is no what duplicate rows. So these are our data. So from here we can export the transform data. We can export the transform data to our S3 bucket. So let's do that. Export this data. Export um export this data to S3, right? So S3 location, let's go and browse the bucket. Data is Sage demo Sage Wrangler. Select this bucket, right? Click on apply. Click on apply. Right? That's all, guys. Click on export. Click on export. That's all. So your output will now be exported. 0 errors we have found. Done. Validation complete. So your output will now be exported to your what? S3 bucket. Let's go and confirm. Let's come here. Let me refresh this. I have my output. You can see now, I have my output folder. Open the output folder. Let's go to the bottom. The time is 11:06. 11:06. So this is the file. This is the file that we just transformed. So click on that file by removing duplicate rows. So let's open that file. Open the file. It's going to get downloaded. It's to my download. Let's save it. Save it. It has been saved, right? The file has been saved. Now let's go to my download folder. Download. Come to download. What time? Let me check the time. The timestamp. I had something earlier. Let's check the timestamp. Is it this? What time is this? Yes. So this is 11:07 p.m. and this is what? This was in the afternoon. I did sometime. Remove this to trash. Right, so this is the file. So now let's open this file in Excel. So this file is very clean. You can see the column that will change from 0 and 1 to what? True and false, right? False and true, right? So we have completely transformed this data from the raw form that we got it into a more usable form. So this is it, guys, right? This is the whole story of data transformation using SageMaker Data Wrangler. All right, guys, so this is machine learning at work, right? So once your data has been transformed, it's now usable, then you can now start going further, all right, to use the data to train your model. After training your model, you can now evaluate the model. After evaluating the model, you feel everything is okay, you can now what? Deploy the model into your production environment. That being said, guys, I want to call this session to a close. But before then, we have to clean up everything that we've done, right? And I need to show you how to clean this. It's very tricky. It's a very tricky way to clean up this thing, right? So first, I will delete the duplicate rows. Delete this. Deleted. Delete this transform job. Delete. All right. Now delete this analysis. Delete. Now you can't delete anything here from here again, right? So let me see. You can delete this as well. Delete, and everything is gone, right? Everything is gone. Now if I come back to my SageMaker Studio, I can't stop this canvas, right? This canvas can be stopped. This canvas can only be stopped if you sign out from SageMaker Canvas. SageMaker Studio job, Wrangler job, will never stop until you sign out from what? Your SageMaker Canvas, right? So this service is new to me, so I get to work around it, right? I get to work around it. So let's cancel it. So it will keep running, and the more it keeps running, the more it eats up your bill. All right, it piles up on your bill. So let's come here, just log out. The moment you log out, everything goes out. Everything is down, guys, right? The moment I'm logging out, you see, to start stopping the job, you can see now the job is now getting stopped. The data wrangler job is now getting stopped. So you have to retrace your step backward. The same way you created all of these, right? you have to retrace. So we just shut down, we just log out from SageMaker. So from SageMaker, we go to, you're going to stop the Wrangler job on SageMaker Studio, or from Wrangler, sorry. From Wrangler, it goes to Studio. Then from Studio, it now go to what? Domain. Let's go back there, guys. Let's say it's now stopped, right? It's stopped. So we can just close this page. We are done here. Close. Close. The next thing now is what? SageMaker Studio. Alright, so say under SageMaker Studio, we'll come to domains. Click on domains and click on the domain name. And under the domain name, we have the user profile. You have to delete the user profile first. Click on the user profile. Alright, it's saying getting deleted. Now scroll to the bottom and click on what? Edit. Click on edit. Right. So first we need to delete the user, right? Delete the user. Delete user. Say yes. Copy this. Copy. Paste. Delete. And yeah. So the user profile is getting deleted. Until the user profile has been deleted, right? You can't delete the domain because the domain is attached to the user profile, or the user profile is attached to the domain. Now that the user profile has been deleted, now you can now go and delete the domain. I would have shown you first. That just keep my memory. I would have shown you how to delete this guy and see that and check that it won't be possible to delete it. You will have an error, right? It will request you to go first. It will request you to first go and delete the user profile before coming to delete the domain, right? So now that we've deleted the user profile, we can go ahead to delete what? The domain. So click on it, go to edit. So on edit, we can now what? Delete the domain. So click on delete, yes. Let's paste that. Delete. So we are now free, guys. We are now free from whatever charges that AWS would have charged us for leaving SageMaker services up and running. So this is it, guys. This is it. Everything is clean. All right, this is clean. So thank you so much. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.